Hello again, it's your fellow wolf here, wintersummerfox, and I'll be talking about how to get a fursuit. Hope you enjoy. Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Furry Talks, and today's topic is focusing on how do I get a fursuit. Just to mention before today's episode begins, there is no need to buy a fursuit because it's considered a luxury item in the fandom and is not a must if you join this fandom. Anyway, let's begin. When it comes to getting a fursuit, there are 4 things to consider: your character, the type of fursuit you want for that character or persona, your budget, finding a maker and commissioning them to make a fursuit of that character or persona. Number 1. Your character. The first thing to have is a reference sheet of your character which shows the side, front, and back of your character or your persona, which can be drawn by hand, colored in using 3D reference sheet line art that some artists have generously created for you people, or commission an artist to help you do one. One thing to point out is that some larger makers will only allow the reference sheet from their official concept artist. Another point which can cause some problems when you are purchasing a fursuit is that if you copy or trace or edit someone else's existing reference sheet without their permission, and if a maker finds out, you'll be likely placed on their blacklist, meaning that they will not commission a fursuit for you. If you're not sure what character you want to be, you don't have to panic, because you can ask a maker to design an artistic liberated fursuit, which allows them to design a fursuit on the go. There is no need for a reference sheet. Everything you need is to tell them a theme and the species you would like your character to be. As a result of this, you may be offered a discount, because some makers love doing that. Number 2. The type of fursuit you want that character or persona to be. This matters a lot as well, because depending on how you would like to show your character or persona to the world and to the fandom, it will heavily depend on you and possibly your budget. By the way, there are many types of fursuits such as full padigraded, full digigraded, quad suits, and so on. Also, they can be separated into 3 styles, which include toony, semi-realistic, and realistic. But if you're generally interested or would like more details on different types of fursuits, I recommend you watch a previous episode dedicated towards this issue that I made. Anyway, another thing to take into account is that some makers don't offer all the styles of suits, but don't hesitate to ask them to be sure that they can produce the style you want. One master point is that you should know your limits. For example, do not go for a quad suit if you have any sort of back or neck problems. Don't go for a full digigrade suit if you don't have good heat tolerance, and don't go for a full suit if you can't afford a partial. Number 3. Your budget. Well, now you have your ref sheet ready to go of your character or persona, and you know what style you want. Now you just have to pay up the money that's required to allow the maker to make your character or persona come to life. Now you may be asking yourself, how much does it cost to get one? Well, generally speaking, the general price of a padigraded fursuits are $1,000 to $1,800 from a small maker, and $1,800 to $2,500 from an experienced maker, and $2,500 plus more from a larger or popular maker. Now you may be saying to yourself, wow, that's a crap ton of money just to have one fursuit made. Now before you start getting upset, the main reason why these suits are so expensive is because fursuit fabrics cost a lot of money to get, and another thing is that the experienced makers would have perfected their crafts over a long period of time to get to where they are today. However, if you're still crying about that you don't have enough money to pay upfront, you don't need to worry, because some makers won't ask you to pay the full amount in one go and would offer you a timeline to pay the remaining money. However, doing so will significantly boost how soon your fursuit is started. Another thing is to consider while budgeting is that if your quote, which is your persona or character, has less color and pattern designs, it will be ranked in the lower end, which meaning cheaper to make. But if your quote has a lot of different colors, complex marking, and additional features, it will be ranked in the higher end, means more expensive to make. One other point is that all makers have different prices, so you should take that into account as well. Number 4. Finding a maker. Now you need to find a maker. There are various things you can do to find a maker, which are to browse the internet using fursuit tags on social medias such as Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram, or you could hop over to Fur Affinity and browse the fursuit category. However, if you come along a suit with no maker name, you're going to have to do some extra research to find out who the maker is, by going to their FA page and find out the post about their fursuit, or contact them to ask who made your fursuit. The last thing you could do is to go over to YouTube and search for fursuit parades, because this gives you the opportunity to view a wide range of fursuit during one sitting. Just a note, some makers will not make all types of species, and some will refuse to do features that are too complex, which means that you could be rejected and should have a backup plan. One last thing you should do is to go to the maker's customer review, or you could hop over to an FA page called Fursuit Critics, which has a lot of customer reviews about different makers as well. Also, another tip is to ask previous customers of your wanted maker. You should tell them you're considering to get one from that maker and ask them how long have their suit held up since they first bought it. Number 5. Commission your maker. Now you have decided your maker, and now you need to commission to make your fursuit. This can be done by having a look at the preferred maker's website to see if they're open to commissions instead of asking them, which can be rude if they clearly show that they are closed for commissions on that website. If they are closed for commissions, well, you have to play the wait game. The best solution is to follow their social media outlets and FA page to ensure that when they open back up for commissions that you have a better chance of gaining a spot with your wanted maker. Now they are open for business. Some makers will ask you to fill out a form on their website or template that you need to follow. If the maker likes everything that you have done, they will send you a quote. A quote is the exact price of your suit, which is calculated by the amount of materials needed and the hours of work that will be needed to create the suit. After all that is done, and you have paid the agreed quote, now you have to be patient and wait for the fursuit to be made and sent to you. Just know that a fursuit can take a long period of time, 5 months or a year to create. That is my take on how to have a fursuit, and I hope you guys enjoyed a long descriptive video about this issue. And once again, hit that like button, subscribe for weekly videos, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Wherever I go, wherever I see, I'll remember you. If you remember